Welcome, everyone. Ready to boldly go where we've, well, gone before a few times. But hey, every journey to the final frontier is unique, right? Today, we're diving deep into Star Trek the original series, that 60s phenomenon that warped its way into pop culture history.
It's interesting you say phenomenon because looking back, it's wild to think it almost didn't survive those early years.
Oh, the stories I've heard. It's a miracle it made it to air at all, let alone sparked all those spin-offs and, what's the word? The whole Trekkie universe.
Precisely. And that's partly why we're here, to uncover not just what the show is about, which many know, but how it came to be against all odds.
Because, let's be honest, aliens and spaceships are cool, but the behind-the-scenes drama is often even juicier. So where do we even begin? It all started with Gene Roddenberry, right? A man with a vision, some say.
Vision, yes, but the initial concept was different. Imagine Wagon Train, but in space. That was the pitch.
Wagon train. Like covered wagons and pioneers
Hmm.
in the vastness of space. Again, that's Doc Bold.
It was a starting point. Roddenberry wanted episodic adventures, exploring new worlds, very much frontier style, but with lasers and aliens, naturally.
So the core idea of a starship venturing into the unknown, that was there from the start. But what about the crew, the characters we love, Captain Kirk, Spock, those icons? Were they always part of the plan?
Surprisingly, no. Kirk wasn't the original captain. First, it was Captain Robert April, then Christopher Pike. Each iteration brought Roddenberry closer to what we know.
A journey to find the right captain, just like the show itself had quite a journey to even get made. It almost didn't make it past the first season, right?
The financial struggles of Desilu Productions were immense. They were almost ready to scrap it all, which is mind-blowing considering the impact Star Trek ultimately had.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? This show about humanity's future, almost doomed by very human problems, money troubles. And I think I read somewhere that Lucille Ball herself, the comedic legend, she played a role in saving it.
More than just a role, she was a champion for Star Trek. Lucille Ball, head of Desilu, saw potential others missed and fought hard for it.
Wow, Lucille Ball, a behind-the-scenes hero for Trekkies everywhere. But wait, wasn't there another near cancellation later on, like fans had to rally or something?
After the second season, NBC was ready to pull the plug. But then, something remarkable happened. Fans launched a letter-writing campaign that flooded the network.
We're talking old school letters, right? Not emails or tweets, but actual paper and ink.
Over 100,000 letters. Scientists, doctors, even the governor of New York wrote, urging NBC to reconsider. It showed the show's impact, a level of support unheard of back then.
They saved it with snail mail. That's dedication. But what was it about the show that sparked such passion? Why did people fight for it?
That's where the real deep dive begins. Star Trek wasn't just entertainment, it tackled social issues head-on, sparking dialogues about racism, sexism, war, all disguised as sci-fi.
So, using the future to talk about the present. Clever. But before we get too deep into that, let's talk about those iconic characters. Kirk, Spock, McCoy. What made them click so well?
Their contrasting personalities. Kirk, the bold leader, Spock, the logic-driven Vulcan, McCoy, the emotional heart. It's a classic dynamic.
And it worked so well. Bickering like a family, but with phasers and warp drive. Though, fun fact, I heard network execs weren't thrilled about Spock's looks initially.
Oh, yes, those pointed ears, the eyebrows. Some wanted to airbrush them out. They thought it'd be too alien for viewers, ironically.
And now those features are iconic. Speaks to how groundbreaking Star Trek was, challenging norms even in appearance.
Absolutely. But pushing boundaries went beyond looks. They weren't shy about tackling controversial topics, even for the 60s.
So are there any episodes that stand out as especially daring? Ones that really pushed the envelope for what was acceptable on TV back then?
There's Plato's Stepchildren. Imagine a near kiss between Kirk and Uhura, a black woman in the 60s. Unheard of.
Wow. A kiss as a radical act. That really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It shows how powerful even subtle actions can be, and how Star Trek used its platform to advocate for inclusivity in a time when it was far from the norm.
So we've got a show nearly canceled twice, saved by fans, and a brave Lucille Ball, featuring iconic characters that challenged social norms. No wonder it became a phenomenon. But how did it eventually end? Another cancellation battle.
Not exactly a cancellation. They moved it to a bad time slot after season 3, which, well, hurt the ratings.
So kind of a slow death then, fading out instead of a big bang.
You could say that, but the story doesn't end there. Syndication, reruns, that's where Star Trek found new life, a bigger audience even.
Reruns. I mean, they're great for a rainy day, but turning a show into a cultural phenomenon.
It's more than you'd think. Syndication brought Star Trek to people who missed it the first time, and that's when the term Trekkie really took off, that devoted fan base forming.
So the show almost canceled twice becomes a hit through reruns. That's wild. But what about the show itself? Why were those 79 episodes so captivating, so enduring?
One reason was using sci-fi to tackle real issues. Back then, most sci-fi was simple, formulaic. Star Trek went deeper, made you think.
Like a mirror to society, but with aliens and starships. Got any examples? Episodes that really embody that approach.
Let That Be Your Last Battlefield is a classic. Two aliens, obsessed with hating each other, each half black, half white, but colors reversed.
Whoa, that's heavy. Especially for the 60s, talking about racial tension so directly. I can see why that would hit home for viewers. Any others like that?
A Taste of Armageddon, for sure. They made war into a computer game, sanitized. But people still died, based on the results. Chilling, right?
It is. Makes you think about how we distance ourselves from war, even today. And Star Trek just puts it right there in front of you. But in a way that's, I don't know, still entertaining.
They were good at that, weren't they? Serious topics, but woven into a good story. And don't forget the music. That theme song, everyone knows it.
Instantly recognizable. It's got that adventure, that optimistic feeling, very Star Trek.
And a fun fact, they reused a lot of the music due to budget constraints. But you barely notice it's done so well.
Making the most of what they had, clearly. But even with limits, they made some amazing episodes. Which ones stand out even now, decades later?
The City on the Edge of Forever. That's always high on the list. Time travel, love story, sacrifice. It's got it all.
Ah, time travel. Always a recipe for drama. What about memorable villains? Star Trek had some great ones, right?
Space Seed introduced Khan, a genetically engineered superhuman awoken by the Enterprise. Pure ambition, a real threat.
Khan, he's like the villain you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
So smart, and that sense of, what is it, twisted honor. No wonder he came back in later movies. But it wasn't all about Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, right? The rest of the crew had their moments.
Oh, absolutely. Scotty, Uhura, Sulu at the helm, Chekhov, they all added to the team feeling, and each had their moments to shine, their own skills.
Like Scotty's, can he change the laws of physics? That's a classic.
Those lines become iconic, don't they? And visually, the show had impact too. The sets, the costumes, those gadgets like the transporter, the communicator, so futuristic at the time.
And some of that tech inspired real-world stuff, like communicator leading to flip phones, kind of shows the power of vision, right?
It wasn't just escaping into the future, it was imagining what could be. And then you have the fans, the Trekkies, their passion is unbelievable.
Conventions, fan films, even learning Klingon. You gotta respect that dedication.
It's woven into our culture, really. Phrases, tech ideas, even fashion sometimes. You can't say, beam me up, Scotty, and not think of Star Trek.
It's more than just a show, that's for sure. It's had a real impact. But what about the deeper message? What can we, as viewers, take away from all those voyages to the final frontier?
Yeah, it's like, we've barely scratched the surface here. Star Trek, it's more than just a show, right? It's got this depth.
Absolutely. It's about humanity, exploring, connecting with others, even when they're different, and that hope for a better future where we overcome our problems and, build something better. That's what gets me. Not just the spaceships and cool tech, but that idea that we can be better. And Star Trek shows that, doesn't it? Like those planets that were like alternate versions of Earth.
Ah, yes. The parallel Earth stories, those what-if scenarios. Fascinating, weren't they?
Totally. It's like peeking into other realities, seeing how choices make a difference.
A clever way to comment on our world, our flaws, the consequences of what we do. Like bread and circuses, that planet obsessed with entertainment, just like ancient Rome, easily controlled.
And patterns of force. That one was creepy. A planet that became like Nazi Germany, basically. A reminder that even in the future, we're not safe from those kinds of dangers.
It's uncomfortable to watch, but it makes you think, right? About our own world, the choices we make.
It's a message we need now, I think. Things feel so divided sometimes, uncertain. But Star Trek, it reminds us we can choose a better path. Be compassionate, understanding.
It's a powerful message, that's for sure. And it makes you wonder, what if Star Trek had never existed? What if that first pilot was the end? Would our world be different without it?
Wow, that's a big question. Would we still be dreaming of warp drive, of transporters? Would we be as focused on diversity, on inclusivity? It's impossible to know, but I think the world would be a little less hopeful without Star Trek,
I think you're right. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd encourage everyone to go back, watch those episodes, explore that universe, let your imagination go wild.
Because the final frontier, it's not just out there in space. It's inside us too, waiting to be discovered. Who knows, maybe someday we'll really be living in a Star Trek future.
Live long and prosper.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and until next time, keep on exploring those strange new worlds.